Hello and thank you for watching this regional forecast for the Northeast. I'm Andrew Pritchard, Senior Meteorologist with Nutrien Ag Solutions. Well, temperatures right now a bit on the cool side across much of the Northeast. We've got a wedge of cooler and drier air expanding from the mid-Mississippi Valley across the eastern Corn Belt into parts of the Northeast where we have 50s and 60s across the region. A crisp morning here with sunny skies across a big chunk of the Northeast as well here from northern Pennsylvania back into portions of New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, Pennsylvania. Well, northern Maine not seeing any sunshine here early this morning. They're seeing clouds and rainfall off to the north, and this is where we're going to be seeing the rain and the thunderstorm chances as we head through the weekend. The chance for some strong storms across parts of the Northeast. As we look at the last 72 hours, this really has been the pattern. A couple of features to pick out here. We've had our area of high pressure across the west. You can see the flow around that area of high pressure here in the precipitation forecast or in the rainfall totals here. We've had a stagnant area of low pressure with a tropical air mass across the southeast, heavy rainfall in that area. And then we've seen just a series of little short waves making their way through the Great Lakes into the northeast, bringing some rainfall to that area. Meanwhile, a big dry wedge here where we've seen, again, that cooler and less humid air mass across the midsection of the country. Now, as we take it into the next week, much of the heavier precipitation across the Northeast will be found across the north. Northern New York, New Hampshire, and Vermont is where we could see in excess of an inch of rainfall, half an inch possible in spotty areas across the rest of New York State and northern portions of Pennsylvania. But by and large, looking rather dry across the remainder of the Northeast as we head into the weekend and early next week. As we look at the severe weather outlook for today, this will be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday down here in the bottom. We've got a marginal risk, a stripe of marginal risk across parts of upstate New York, New Hampshire, Vermont, and Maine as we head through the day today, tomorrow, and Sunday. The reason for that, well, here's the jet stream pattern. Again, doing something kind of like this. We've got our ridge in the west, this trough down here. Again, the reason for the heavy precipitation across the mid-south. And here's the reason for the precipitation coming up coming up and over the top of our ridge out toward the west. Let me redraw what I had on there. So here's our trough in the southeast. Here's the ridge in the west, the precipitation coming up and over the top of that, doing something kind of fun like that. And then as we head off to the northeast, we've got a trough across portions of Nova Scotia, with flow coming around that, tapping into a warmer air mass across our region, bringing the chance for some of those thunderstorms. So as we go ahead and jump into the week 1 and week 2 precipitation forecast, week 1, heaviest precipitation expected across the north with drier conditions across the remainder of the northeast. But as we head into week 2, the last few days of September into the last days of August, the first days of September, looking for a resumption of a much more active pattern across a bigger chunk of the lower 48, including much more of the northeast. So let's look at the high-resolution NAM model. This will take us through the weekend and our severe weather chances here. Again, looking for a marginal risk of some strong storms across upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine as we head through the afternoon and evening hours. Again, across a frontal boundary in this area, dry across the rest of the northeast region. Let's take this into Saturday afternoon and evening. We'll see a very similar forecast here with a chance for a couple of strong storms popping up just a little bit further south than the threat today across much of New York State, and then Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Rhode Island, maybe a strong storm passing through that area. And then the same thing on Sunday. We'll see another wave moving in. Look for another chance of some strong storms across parts of upstate New York, New Hampshire, Vermont, parts of Maine, and then maybe even northern Massachusetts. Total precipitation between now and Sunday afternoon. Again, looking for scattered storms producing some locally heavy rainfall, generally north, kind of north of upstate New York into New Hampshire, Vermont, and Maine. We'll take a little bit of a expanded look here with the European model, the precipitation forecast, taking it into next week. Again, watching for the threat today, tomorrow, and Sunday for the chance for some strong storms across this corridor, generally northern portions of the northeast. We'll then take it into Monday, watching for a continuation of thunderstorms across that exact same region, making a more widespread chance for some rainfall here, perhaps as we get into the middle part of next week. We'll have to talk about what this might look like as we get a little bit closer, but that could shift us into a much more active pattern. You see it starting to kick off here as we get into the last days of August, the first few days of September, much more stormy pattern shaping up across a huge chunk of the Midwest into the Northeast. Until we get there, though, between now and Wednesday, the chance of picking up a half an inch of rainfall going to be found across northern portions of the Northeast, with much drier conditions expected off to the south. And if you want to just see the raw forecast output from the European operational model, again, areas north, upstate New York, New Hampshire, Vermont, parts of Maine, that's where you could see 1 to 3 inches of rainfall from some of these repeated rounds of showers and storms over the next few days. But as you head off to the south, the remainder of New York, Pennsylvania, and then coastal portions of New Jersey, getting up into Massachusetts there, just very light precipitation, if any, here, maybe a few tenths of an inch. As we look at high temperatures over the next few days, coolest off to the north, 67 in northern Maine, mid-80s as you head off to the south. We'll be warming as we head into the weekend and early next week, with 90s back on the table as we get into the middle part of next week. Have a great day, a wonderful weekend, and we'll talk to you again on Monday morning.